God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her, guide her through the light of the bright something above. I gotta look at the words. I never get that right. Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj, the Sirwalterj show. I'm he. It is the evening edition. Baby, come on in, y'all. The water is fine. I gotta talk about this. Ooh, to the wee. It's going on and popping today and tonight. I want to talk about this mess that I saw today, and some of y'all watching, some of y'all decided not to watch it. That's up to you. But man, what a show. What a show. It was the greatest show on earth today. We synced it before, and we synced it a little more today. Tag a friend, tag a neighbor, tag a cop. Y'all come on in here so we can make sense of it, because a lot of you who are African Americans don't really pay attention to the news that much. That's why a lot of times you lose your house. They raise the taxes and they eminent domain go through there, and you start losing stuff because you really don't pay attention to that stuff. You just like to watch Empire and Basketball Wives and BET and stuff like that. You don't really care about it. You really. So you tune into the Sirwalterj show because when it's breaking news or something relevant, I'm going to help you out to understand what's really going on in the world of politics, okay? And stop being ignorant. Will you please listen to us? So share this on your wall with friends and family and young folks who may not understand the whole political science thing, all right? Those of you on YouTube, hit the bell button. Bing! Go ahead, hit it right now. You on YouTube, hit the bell. Bing! Subscribe. Brett Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, these are the two people who was talking today back and forth trying to protect or defend, that is, their case. All right. Where do I begin here? Because I got some little help tips here. I got some video to play, and I got notes. I've been sitting here just typing away all of my notes here to make sure I don't miss nothing here. Blessings to you, Debbie. Okay, so here it is. Senate Judiciary Committee. It was done on Capitol Hill today. Took all day. It was almost longer than the Queen of Soul's funeral. Almost, y'all. They missed it by 30 minutes. Okay, that's what this is. The ranking member of that committee is Dianne Feinstein, Democrat. She was there since January 3rd, 2017, all right? And then the chair is Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley is Republican, January 3rd, 2015. He's an old man. He be funny, man. Hey, it's somebody him I like. I don't know why I like Chuck, but Chuck, get off my front lawn, little man. We're going to the moon. That's him, Chuck. He's a good guy. You know what? The stats say 147% increase in the calls to the sexual assault hotlines since this. Do y'all not hear that? Do y'all not understand what's happening here? What's happening here actually is a good thing as well as a really bad thing, but it's a good thing because there's always good out of bad because God makes sure he orchestrates that. All right, the bad thing that y'all have caused or Satan has caused, God turns it into a good thing. All things work together for the good to them who love the Lord, who are called according to all this good stuff, all right? So 147% increase in calling the hotline for sexual assaults. Amazing. Here's my first point here. Be careful what job you decide you want to accept. Somebody call you on a job interview and it is something that's dealing with the public. Be careful. You may not want to take that job if you think you got a shaky past. Brothers, let me tell you something. If somebody's calling you for some kind of public position, some kind of job interview, please do me a favor. Pick up the phone, Stephen Perry, blessings to you, and call anybody who you might have touched inappropriately. I don't care if you was in a drunken binge. I don't care if you was high on weed or on some kind of grass or something and crack. you was in church in the basement in the boiler room, and you reached over, blessings to you, Sanders, and you touched somebody's, and you call them, say, listen, hello, yes, let me speak to Becky Pooh. Becky Pooh, how you doing, baby? Good. Yeah, I touched you inappropriately 15 years ago. Yeah, I did this. Listen, Linda, listen. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm just letting you know I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do any of that stuff. Something was going on. You make it right with her. Make it right now. Okay? Because guess what? She coming to haunt you. Sure is. You should have done it before you got the job. I apologize to my wife 10 years after our divorce. I in her face, I apologized, and she knew it came from my heart. I didn't apologize because there was a new job coming or somebody's getting ready to leak my dirt. No. I apologized because I was getting ready to move into a new relationship. All right, I was falling. I was falling in love, right? And I knew that God would not approve of this relationship until I went back to my ex-wife and apologized and put myself on the mercy of the court. I begged her, please, I'm so sorry, with the utmost, my contrite heart. I had it, y'all. And she forgave me. And then I wrote a letter, make sure that she got proof that these are my words. Whatever I said and did to you, I am so sorry. And I wrote the letter and mailed it to her and then called her, make sure that she got the letter. All right? Because I wanted her to know, always remember that this man is a good man, and I have freed him to move on to a new relationship. So if y'all are out there and you've done anything inappropriate to any ladies out there, you brothers, I'm talking about you, because I know ladies have done some bad things to men. I'm talking about you brothers right now. Call, send a homing pigeon, walk over to the house, do whatever you need to do to apologize. Do it, because that could free you and free your new wife and children and everything else. It will free you forever, and you can walk on this earth and work hard and be a blessing to the world and die and go to heaven. All right, now, let's get into the point here, because Donald Trump made the decision that possibly ruined 2 lives and directly and then indirectly everybody else. I'm trying to tell you, he picked up the phone and says, you know what? I see all these people who, let's do Brett. As soon as he said, let's do Brett, there it is. As soon as he picked that man, the man's life came back. Not only his life, but Dr. Ford's life came back. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Everything that she decided she was not going to talk about and hide, because it all came back because of one man's decision to pick. Oh, man. Oh, this is something else here. This is something else. Who was Brett Kavanaugh? He is a sitting judge on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. I did that show on YouTube. Go to my channel and you'll see it. Christine Ford is an American professor of psychology, and she showed her field today in these hearings, all right? To lie today in the political climate that we have is the norm. Everybody's lying in politics today. That seems to be the norm. Lie, and lie some more. Yeah. Now, as it pertains to these hearings, though, here's the thing. It's all about psychology. Y'all pay close attention to this, okay? Because, see, I have the gift of discerning of spirits. I read folks. Ooh, I read them. I'm reading y'all right now. Okay? And when I'm looking at those hearings, I said, that was a mislead. That was a lie. That was a half-truth. That was a black lie. That was a white lie. That was the truth, but it was marred in something, a lie behind it, after it, okay, before it. Yeah. So, if you're going to be on the stand and as a witness or what have you, you're trying to testify that you're guilty or innocent, here's the thing. When it comes to the court of public opinion, you must look like you're telling the truth. Always have the attribute of telling the truth. Always have the look of being truthful. I don't think y'all get this. It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's what works. Did you hear me? Get it. Get this, Linda. It's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's really about what works. It's really about what it looked like. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're a liar or you're a truth teller, you've got to always look like you're telling the truth. People have passed the polygraph test. Y'all know that lie test, okay? People have passed the polygraph test because they remain calm. Constant, yeah. Look like, just tell the truth. Constant, yeah. Just tell the truth. That's true. You should do that. But you telling the truth could get you not on the bench. I don't think y'all getting it, okay? So you can pass the polygraph test by being calm, cool, collect, don't sweat, and do some neural things in your body, okay? Man, I don't think y'all get it. Diane Goldman Berman Feinstein, okay? She's a ranking person. Yep, body language spoke volumes today, Stephen Perry, yep. Diane Feinstein, this is where it all started for those of you who don't watch the news. It all started here. She's a ranking leader. She's a senior U.S. senator from California, all right? She received a letter. The letter was released by Senator Charles Grassley. I got a letter here from Dr. Ford. Anybody want it? And he pulled his pants all the way up. Anybody want to see this here letter? Okay, yeah, that's my boy. I'm sorry, y'all had to do him. She received a letter. It was released by Charles Grassley, the top Republican of the Senate Judiciary Committee. All right, you got it? All right. He was giving it by Feinstein on Tuesday, who in a memo attached to the letter specifically requested it not to be released publicly. Understand that? Not to be released publicly. This is where it all started here. All right? Feinstein has been criticized for keeping the letter secret and not handing it over to authorities or the Congress until confirmation hearings for Cavanaugh before it had concluded. So Feinstein has argued she was honoring Ford's request of confidentiality. I agree with her. I believe it. So Ford then goes into detail in the letter about high school party she attended in the 1990s and alleges of a sexual assault by Cavanaugh. And the letter, which leaked into the public last week, is what started the public spectacle that has rattled Washington and left Cavanaugh bid on the national highest court in a sea of uncertainty. Y'all still with me? This is some stuff here. So isn't that construction of justice? Well, you talking about to lie? If you get caught in the lie, Pauletta Moody, yes, it is. Because once they raised their right hand in this committee hearing, then now you are under oath. And that's how Bill Clinton got impeached. Not because he had sex with the woman, it's because he raised his right hand and he lied under the oath. Oh, yeah. So there you go. And so I think you're talking about the construction of, you're talking about the letter, Pauletta. I think you're talking about the letter, right? Maybe that's what you're referring to. So everybody help me say the national disgrace. This is a national disgrace. Yes, so Pauletta Moody, yes. There you go. Then I would agree with you. National disgrace. We've heard this in 1991. Then we heard it again today. Judge Clarence Thomas responds to Anita Hill. It seems like Trump's people are always borrowing from the Democratic Party. You remember when Trump's wife borrowed, I don't know if it was unwillingly or what have you, from Michelle Obama, the speech that she gave at the convention. Remember when she borrowed the speech? Yeah. And today also Chuck Grassley borrowed from Vice President Joe Biden about the FBI, and he quoted from the Yeti. A whole lot of borrowing going on. But this right here is something that we can remember if you were around that.
That's right.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Senator, I would like to start by saying unequivocally, uncategorically, that I deny each and every single allegation against me today that suggested in any way that I had conversations of a sexual nature or about pornographic material with Anita Hill, that I ever attempted to date her, that I ever had any personal sexual interest in her, or that I in any way ever harassed her. Worth it. No job is worth it. I'm not here for that. I'm here for my name, my family, my life, and my integrity. I think something is dreadfully wrong with this country when any person in this free country would be subjected to this. This is not a closed room. There was an FBI investigation. This is not an opportunity to talk about difficult matters privately or in a closed environment. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace.
There it is.
And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves.
Yeah. Almost the exact same words that Kavanaugh gave, except he didn't say uppity whites as a lyncher. He didn't say that. But it was a circus and a national disgrace. It's no coincidence that he used those exact same words. Prosecutor Rachel Mitchell was brought in by the Republicans. She's an independent sex crime expert, okay? And she asked a couple questions to Ford, Dr. Ford. She's a Republican. She was brought there to kind of trap Ford, but she actually helped Ford's case. Oops. I'll tell you, we'll go get the handcuffs for them both. Yeah, I know, Pauletta. So she's asking the questions, but she actually kind of helping the woman, you know. But she asked who paid for stuff, who paid for the polygraph test, and she did trap her in a truth here. She says this process is not how you get the truth. It's not here. They laughed, and she was right. To get the truth after someone has abused you, you don't come to a hearing to do that. You follow through with other things. And she was a psychologist was talking to another psychologist, and Ford understood. That's why there was a faint laughter in the room. There was an FB. There was no. This man just talked about there was an FBI investigation, but in this case here, there was no FBI investigation. Understand that. The Republicans and those of you on the right are saying, yeah, the FBI had talked to Cavanaugh over and over again. Yes, because he is a sitting judge. You can't be a sitting judge sitting on a D.C. Circuit Court and not be investigated. But you were investigated for that particular position. They're not going to look into what Ford was saying if Ford had never said anything. It was a secret. So, of course, the FBI was not going to go back and ask him, did stuff happen, blah, 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 if Ford had never come forth. So I get y'all's your deflective support of this, but it's weak. It is absolutely weak. Okay? Now, what were some of the mistakes made here? And let me see if I can find some of the mistakes. All right? Hey, Ern, blessings to you. So good to see you, Ern. Brett Kavanaugh, biggest mistake. Here's what his biggest mistake when he got on. Matter of fact, let me show you what his biggest mistake was. I'm going to go in a reverse here because she spoke first. But let me show you what his biggest mistake is. It's not what he said. It's what he did. All right, let me show you what he did.
That was Dr. Ford's first time before a Senate committee. He's done this many times, but nothing like this.
Judge Kavanaugh, we welcome you. Are you ready? I have something I want to clear up from the last meeting that doesn't affect you. So before I swear you, I would like to explain my response to Senator Kennedy right after the break. At that time, I entered into the record the statements of 3 witnesses, Dr. Ford said, were also at the party. These statements were provided to us under penalty of felony by lying to, if you lie to Congress. As soon as my team learned the names of these 3 potential witnesses, we reached out.
Now you see what's happening here? I've been watching these hearings for a while. He came in just so calm, cool, and collected. He came in there ready for war. He came in there ready to kill somebody. And notice his gaze to the senators on that. He's angry. And he's getting ready to let y'all know. And I believe he received a phone call after her testimony. And during the break, he received a phone call. Guess who he got it from? He got it from the audience of one in whom he's getting ready to impress. The Oval Office called him. Says, be stern. Be a man and sit that woman down. Trust me on this. I know what happened. Yes. What was his big mistake prior to this hearing? It was his Fox News interview. Big mistake. Why was that his big mistake? Because he made himself as a saint. Go back to after this show and look at his Fox News interview, and he was a choir boy. He was the angel in the house. He was the most kindest, most meekest man. He didn't touch no beer or wine or drink, none of that. He's still a virgin at that time, and he was the choir boy. That is what he portrayed to Fox News and in the world. All right. So America saw that and says, surely he couldn't have done anything like that. This man we saw there, though, turned out not to be the same guy on Fox News. Yeah, he was a mouse in the choir stand. Yeah, so his angry entrance, all right, being combative to the senators. You know, the senator asked him a question. He would say, what, did you not do that? Hello, Senator, did you not do that? Hello, he was doing the clap back. He almost called somebody ugly. You ugly. I ain't even going to talk about somebody who called folks ugly when they want to clap back. He almost did the clap back. And he went against what's called judicial temperament. Judicial temperament. He didn't have it. So he was setting himself up to America to show that he's not even qualified. He does not have the temperament to sit on the seat of the Supreme Court. He walked away from judicial temperament, and he is a sitting judge on the D.C. Circuit. Understand? He showed y'all that he ain't qualified for the job. Yeah, he said this is a national disgrace. Then he brought up the Clintons. Who does that? All right. Then he brought up left-wing opposition groups. Also, he was not sympathetic to Ford. He only talked about what he didn't do to her, but he did not show any sympathy because something happened to her. But he was not sympathetic with her, so he lost the women, the voting women on this. And then the question went about Mark Judge. This was his boy, his roommate back in school, asked Mark Judge about this book that he wrote called Wasted. And it's talking about these, in the book that Mark wrote, he talked about this character called Bart O. Kavanaugh. How much of a coincidence is that? In the book, Bart O. Kavanaugh is a character, but this Cavanaugh said, he ain't talking about me. He's talking about some of our friends, and he made them characters in the book. And then he threw Mark Judge under the bus by saying that he's an alcoholic, and he also had leukemia. Yeah, man. Bad. It's just sad. Now, what did Brett do good that reached his tribe? He talked about God. White evangelicals love that. He talked about family. He cried when he talked about his daughter. How old is she? 8, 9, 10? I can't remember. He cried when, now that was a natural reaction. You see, I like psychology. A liar, even a liar, could cry if he says a certain word or a phrase or bring back some kind of memory. If something or someone causes a fond or some type of memory to happen, then even a liar would tear up. Ask me how I know. It would trigger it. Thank you, Pauletta, because I remember being in the hot seat. And it says, did you sleep with that woman? I said, I didn't do it. I'm trying to tell you I didn't do it because I've got a 8-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old. Well, it was so many years ago. My daughter in almost 30 now, but I got a 5-year-old daughter. And as I began to talk about my children, I got teary-eyed. And what did it do? It convinced the person who asked me that question that I was telling the truth, even though I knew that I was lying. I did sleep with that woman. You understand what I'm saying? Those of you who are moved by tears, I need you to pull that back a little bit, because God is not moved by your tears. He's moved by your faith. Faith is what moves God, not tears. Understand? Tears don't move me. No, they don't. And a lot of women like to use tears to get men all Twitter-pated. But I talked about that. I talk about it in my book being released in February called The 4 Women That Men Desire. I talk about girl B and girl D. Girl D especially uses tears to manipulate him, to get him in her lair so that she can have her way with him. And this is the manipulation that people use, is tears. I remember Hillary Clinton, when she was running for president against Barack Obama, she was talking about how she just can't understand how people can do blah, blah, blah. And then she says, I just want this job. I just want to help the American people. And she teared up a little bit, and her poll went up. Ooh-wee. Her poll went up because she started to cry. Why? Because America are suckers for tears. Now, do God ignore all tears? No, because he says, I'll take your tear and I'll put it in a bottle. And I'll save it for a rainy day. But those tears are the results of your heart from your faith. These are not crocodile tears. God don't save crocodile tears and put them in bottles. Oh, Lord, have mercy to my soul today. Bernice Williams, help me with that. Help me. Okay, and so then he talked about God. He talked about family. And number 3, he says, I do my homework. He says, I got good grades, Daddy. I get good grades. So there's no way a man could be a straight-A student and be raping folks. Man, I'm telling you. Okay? So Christine Ford's, her moment was she schooled the Senate. I don't think y'all getting this. Oh, I don't think y'all getting this. I don't think y'all getting this. I don't think y'all getting it. Let me fix this because I got tired of holding it. I don't think y'all getting this. Christine Ford, Brother Kavanaugh messed with the wrong woman 30 years ago. He messed with the wrong woman. He shouldn't have messed with any woman. But he really messed with the wrong one because she grew up to be a psychologist. holy cow, intelligent to the core. She was very, very, very credible, very, very extremely believable. Something happened to that girl. Something happened to that girl. And everybody in the room believed that something happened, even whether they believed that Cavanaugh did it or not. Something happened to that girl. She schooled the Senate on the science or the episodic. I talked about episodic memory on the Annette Harris show a month ago. We were talking about ACE, and then we talked about PTSD in African Americans, but I talked about episodic memory. All right, these traumatic things that happened to us when we were young. And she schooled them. She used technical terms to explain why she's sure of her recollection of an alleged sexual assault, that it did occur. Well, I'm trying to tell you, it moved me into there because she was talking my language. Here's a quote. She says, "It's just basic memory functions." She says, and also just the level of, I always mess this word up, epinephrine, but it's neuroepinephrine and epinephrine in the brain that encodes memories into the hippocampus, so that trauma-related experience is locked there while other memories just drift. Ooh-wee. You see what I'm saying? So norepinephrine and epinephrine are neurotransmitters and hormones that work in concert in the fight or flight response that would be expected during an incident like the one Ford had described. And so the two elevate sugar levels and increase the heart rate and also make a person more aware of their surroundings, which is why she could recognize that after she got pushed out of the bathroom, she got pushed in that room, in the bedroom, then she began to remember stuff. You see, when trauma happens, some people, it get locked out. Others, though, it shoots, those transmitters shoot so heavy that some people can retain this memory. And so she remembered from the time she was pushed. She remembered the two faces. She remembered being on the bed. She remembered what she wore. She wore one piece. That's why he could not penetrate her. She remembered he was so inebriated because he was so drunk. She remembered not PJ, the other brother. Was it Mark Judge? Which one was it? She remembered when he egged that Cavanaugh on, or if this was Cavanaugh. Help me, because I have to say if or the alleged, okay, because I still I have to. Okay. She says, I remember his face. I remember what his friend said. She egged him on, then she told him to quit, but then she egged him on again. She remembered that. And then she remembered how inebriated he was. He couldn't get into her. And so she remembered how she finally got up and went free. And she remembered going down the stairway. She remembered all these things. She remembered all of that stuff. I'm trying to tell y'all, he picked the wrong one. She says, indelible in the hippocampus is the uproarious laughter between. They asked her, what do you remember the most? She remembered the laughter between the two and their having fun at my expense. That's traumatic. This laughter is what she remembered the most. And that plays in the back of her mind more than the attack itself. And they asked her, how much do you recollect or remember? Are you sure? What percentage do you think that was Cavanaugh? She said 100%. That sealed his fate right there. At least in the eyes of those who are looking at this through their intelligence and their hearts. That sealed it. This guy right here, though. This guy right here done went crazy. This guy right here done went crazy.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham. That you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are. God, I hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a...
Wait a minute, let me free my hands. I gotta free my hands here. Wait, it's got to be... you gotta do that. There it is right there. Yeah. That man crazy. Let me tell you why he's crazy. Yeah, I said he's crazy. He crazy. He crazy. Here's why he's crazy. You know what brought about this craziness in Senator Lindsey Graham? The death of his best friend, John McCain. John McCain. Some of you may not be too connected with that relationship, but they were two peas in the pod. If John McCain was alive today and was able to work in the Senate, that would not have happened. Would not have happened. But what's going on here is Lindsey now don't have that person now to keep him balanced. He's up for re-election in 2020. There are people who are going to be opposing him and wanting that seat. So he have to be on Donald Trump's side. He's got to celebrate and do what Donald Trump says, go into the bidding of Donald Trump. Why? Because he's from South Carolina. South Carolina is considered Trumpistan. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? What he did was a political move. He is a senator from Trumpistan. And he was, like Cavanaugh, they both was preaching to an audience of one. Because he kept asking the question, where was the house? You don't know where the house was? Where you got raped? Okay. How did you get to the house? You don't know how you got to the house where you was raped? Okay. What month was it? You don't remember what month it was when you got raped? What time did this raping happen? You don't remember what time it was? You see what I'm saying? He literally asked these questions. So because she couldn't answer those questions, that means it didn't happen. So it's not so much that Cavanaugh didn't do it. It was more like it never happened. Yeah, that man's crazy. Yeah. Funny thing about that spectacle you just saw there is this. Y'all remember the great Barack or Hussein Obama? And you remember right before he was getting ready to leave, he was a lame duck president. And you remember when one of the Supreme Court justices had died? You know, the one who was talking about black folks and what was his name who died? Who was that Supreme Court justice that died? And he was talking about the track, a black person going to college and learning from a lesser track. What was his name? Anyway, it was Barack Obama's time and turn to select the next Supreme Court justice to replace this man. Remember that? And the Republicans, this guy right here, all right, said, no, a lame duck should not have that kind of power. Remember that? So they held up any kind of Senate hearings on Merrick Garland. Y'all remember that? Anybody remember that? Yeah, they did that. And the Democrats were just as upset, says, how dare y'all do this? He's a president, whether he's a sitting duck, whether he's a lame duck or not, he's still the president and he still have power. Give it to him. They wouldn't do it because they had the majority, the Republicans. So they held it up so that Barack Obama could leave, Donald Trump could be elected, and then what they do with Merrick Garland, they says, you're a nice guy, but bye-bye. There's a new sheriff in town. They got Gorsuch's. He there. Here's his turn. So he's just all air. So what's the moral of this story, y'all? Oh, here's the moral. Here's the moral. Here's what I believe in my heart of hearts. You ready for this? Here it is. Brett Kavanaugh is a functioning alcoholic. He either is a functioning alcoholic or he was one. Brett Kavanaugh lied about he don't drink beer. He don't touch the stuff on Fox News. But when he was pushed in this Senate hearing, all of a sudden, he liked beer. And he gave, who saves their calendars from high school? Who does that? Who does that? He put in that beach party and the yearbook and all that stuff was saved. Okay, he incriminated himself in all of that stuff. And then other people who were at the parties said, yeah, that was Brett. He was drunk before he got to the party. So others were talking about how Dr. Ford is correct. He was a drunk. Here's what could have happened. Some of you may not believe this, and I get it. But sometimes when a person gets really drunk, they don't remember what they did. Yeah. Most politicians are functioning alcoholics. Every event there, yep. They don't remember what they did. I used to work for corporate America. I worked for a CPA firm, a certified public accounting firm. And when we would go to those company parties and what have you, Arthur Anderson and Deloitte & Touche and some of these accounting firms that have been debunked, okay? Remember the Enron scandals and all that stuff? Okay, anyway, I would go to these parties and these executives and CEOs and supervisors got drunk. And they did things that they would not have done. They would not even thought to do if they wasn't inebriated. Once they sobered up, they had forgotten everything. They forgot what they didn't realize that they had done that until somebody showed pictures. Yeah, he drank a lot of water, Ruben. Yeah, blackout. So he could have raped this girl. I'm calling her a girl because she was so young. He could have raped her and forgot. So on the stand, he could be telling the truth by his recollection. Understand? It's his truth. It may not be the truth. It's his truth. He don't remember. Get it? But she remembered. So the truth could be facing us. He don't remember doing it, although he did. So it's his truth. So of course he's going to be combative to try to defend his truth. So how did he defend it? Here's how he defended it. I believe that even if he don't remember the rape, I believe that he remember being at that party. I believe that. Because when the questions came upon him, you saw him skirting around the truth, skirting around it, deflecting things. Says, don't do it, FBI investigation. No. Notice how the gentle senator from Illinois asked him, he says, turn to your right and look at this person here and ask for an FBI investigation. And Cavanaugh got quiet. And the old man, the old grandson say, wait a minute. You can't do that. I told y'all this. McFly, Back to the Future. He said, he interrupted him. And then our senator just sat there really nice and calm and cool and let him finish. The old man finished. Get off my lawn. Get off my lawn. Okay, when he got through, he went back and says, turn to your right and ask the FBI for an investigation. He said, there's no need to do that. Why? If you that transparent and you ain't got nothing to hide, turn to the right. Turn to the right. He wouldn't do it, which means he's covering up something. So how did he cover it up? He attacked politics. I don't think y'all get it. Y'all really... Uh-oh, I'm sorry. I lost y'all. Let me see if I can... I went away, y'all. We used to do that with the kids. We did this. Hello. Okay, sorry. It worked for my babies. My babies, they just thought I was gone. What he did was he attacked politics. Notice that. That was his defense. Attack politics. So what he do? He talked about Clinton. He talked about the Democrats. It was a political fight. That's what it turned into. She got away when his friend jumped on the bed. Yep, the one-piece suit helped her, Amber. That's what I said. That one-piece suit saved her. Mm-hmm. Yep. She wasn't penetrated. Right. Sexual assault. Right. She was not. Thank you for clearing that up. It was an attempted rape. All right. And I know this, but, I'm talking, trying to read y'all and read my notes at the same time. So, Amber, thank you. Because people on YouTube will be like, he lying. No, it was an attempted rape. It was a sexual assault. So, thank you. You saved the day again. You always save the day. I'm going to find it. It's Subway. Eat fresh. Okay? I'm going to get you one. Some don't remember what they did, but alcohol brings out what is already in a person's character. I was getting ready to go there too, Beatrice. Share that Subway with Amber. Will you please? When I send it to her, she's going to send you a half because I'm going to get y'all a foot long, okay? And she's going to cut it in half. Yes, alcohol lowers inhibition, but if you have no rape tendencies at all, you are not just going to just end up... Beatrice, that's at the bottom of my notes. I was getting ready... I was getting ready to bring up, Beatrice? I was getting ready to bring up Ambien. D, you know why I was getting ready to bring up Ambien, right? Y'all know what Ambien is, right? And y'all know somebody who took Ambien and then went on Twitter and became a racist. Anybody know why I'm bringing up Ambien? You see, because the side effects of Ambien is not racism. That's what they said. And by the way, here are the side effects. It ain't racism. So, Rosie, not Rosie, what's her name? Roseanne, yeah. She called the woman a monkey and blamed it on Ambien. But whether you drunk or whether you high on a drug or something like that, you will, many cases, will do something that's in your heart. Oh, Beatrice, see, you're in my notes. I can show it to you, but if I move the cord, it's going to block out. Or turn up the heat on the good old boys and somebody will holler. Pauletta, that's good. Grinding was the thing back then. Yep, so he got off on that without going to the... Yep, grinding was the thing. Yep, that's right. That I'm trying to tell you, all those boys was trying to grind those girls. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is what we did. Here's the thing that y'all are forgetting, though. Here it is. If you can't believe, if you don't want to believe Dr. Ford's story, if you throw that out, you got to throw out 3 women's stories. 3 women. Understand? If you throw her out, you got to throw out everybody. So nobody can come forward to say he did anything. Nobody. Everybody's a lie who comes forward. Why? Because he's got such a great record. You see what's happening here? It's amazing. Evangelist Roseanne Barr of the white supremacist jurisdiction of Appalachia. Walt Clark is here, y'all. That means I got to shut this down. So you must believe 3 women were lying as a co-conspirators to lined up with the Democratic Party. I'm not defending the Democrats because I ain't one. I'm conservative to the bone. I don't vote Democrat or Republican. I vote my conscience. That's what I do. Because so sometimes I go on that thing and pull the lever. It's a Republican person. Sometimes I pull and it's a Democratic person. And I pulled last voting and it was an independent person. And then I got somebody from the Green Party. Oh, I was pulling all diversity levels because I believe in a melting pot. I was pulling levels, but I did my homework to try and figure out who is this person. I didn't just pull levels because they were diverse. I did my study. Y'all got to be an educated voter, please, because November will be here in a couple days. Well, depending on when you watching this, November might have happened. It's over with, y'all, who's watching this in January 2019. I'm going to say this and close this down. All right, here it is. Clarence Thomas said what he said in there, but the only thing he didn't do was cry. Clarence Thomas was belligerent and he was aggressive. So was Cavanaugh. What this was a personality transformation. That's all this was. You hear me? That's the whole thing about this whole case. It was a personality transformation. Which simply means if he is affirmed and approved, he will bring this attitude to the Supreme Court. Anybody hear me? Yeah. Anybody getting it though? Yes. I'm glad that these hearings happened. I'm glad that Donald Trump chose him. And I'm glad that she came forth. Why? Because we saw a personality that's calm, cool, and collected as sitting judge on the D.C. Circuit of Appeals. That guy, that good guy that everybody talk about, noticed how he transformed. Now, what's getting ready to happen? They're going to do a vote maybe tomorrow. For those of you who are watching this at the time of this recording, they may do a vote. It only takes about 1 or 2 Republicans to turn on them so that it won't happen. But what we saw today was anger. It was a man who can't take the heat when sitting in the hot seat. He can't take it. So I'm not sure how he operates on the D.C. Circuit. But this man is getting ready to join the highest court of the land forever. Okay? And he's going to look at rulings that he is against or something like that. And he may rule them with that personality. The America saw it. So if anything comes out of these hearings, it's that. We saw the real Brett Kavanaugh. We saw the real Brett Kavanaugh. And that's the same guy you're going to see on that court. Thank you, Donald Trump. And thank you to the Republican senators who may push him through. And if Ford is telling the truth about what happened, there will be an attempted rapist on the Supreme Court. Yeah. Let me ask y'all a question, though. Let me ask y'all a question. This is for the deep thinkers. This is for the deep thinkers, okay? This is out of the box. Quick question. Okay? You got to be intelligent, though, and answer this. Because I don't know if this is a right or wrong answer. If a man comes to your house, okay? I need as many of y'all to answer this as much as you can. If a man comes to your house with the intent to murder you, and he shoots at you and he misses, and he keeps shooting and he misses, and then he runs away, he gets caught. The prosecutor, they will charge him with attempted murder because the man didn't die. A bullet might have hit him, or it missed him, but it was attempted murder. And I think the attempted murder is if the bullet does hit him. But if it misses him, sometimes he can get away with assault or something like that. It's just weird how the courts work, the law work. So they says attempted murder case. But in God's eyes, though, is he still a murderer, though? Because in his heart, it was his intent to murder this person, but he wasn't able to. Is he still considered a murderer? I'm asking because I'm asking for a friend. Realistically, is he a murderer? For instance, if two people showed up at the house and they both broke in the house and your partner murdered the housekeeper. Okay? The person murdered the housekeeper and you there, and then you clean up the blood and then y'all get out of there and you both get caught. They charged the shooter with murder, and I've seen where they charged the person, the partner, also with murder, accessory to it, but he also got charged with murder, even though he did not murder the person. In his completed action, no. Yeah. So I'm guilty of attempted on earth, guilty of the sin in heaven. What? Ooh-wee. Paulette says yes. The intent of the heart, yes. Daphne says yes, he is still a murderer because he had committed murder. Y'all know why I asked that question, right? Y'all know, right? Because here's why I asked that question. Because when you look in the Bible, notice how when the sins are listed, it don't say anything about attempted. There's no tempted in there. He's a murderer. Amber says, because of the intent of his heart, all sins are done without the body. So as a man thinks, so is he. God sees him as he sees his heart. Yep. Come on, Amber. Pauletta, accessory to the crime, guilty by association. Yes. Yes. So, remember what Jesus said. If you look upon a woman, and lust in your heart, it's just like you did it. So, I have to agree with y'all by what the scripture says. If Brett Kavanaugh, I want to call him Kavanaugh for some reason. If Brett Kavanaugh attempted to declothe her, but she had this one piece on, so he could not penetrate her. If he attempted to, once he pulled that down like that, he became a rapist. That's by y'all's answers. Brett Kavanaugh, if he did what she said he did, he will be sitting on the bench. A rapist will be sitting on the bench. That's why my words stand true. I had to question y'all because I need you to know that I ain't backing down on what I'm saying. If this man did what she said he did, if he is confirmed, a rapist will be sitting on the bench of the Supreme Court, because the rapist is already sitting on the D.C. Circuit Court if he did this. And another rapist is sitting in the Oval Office of the White House. Yeah. It's a sad day in America. This week especially, the great Bill Cosby fell. He's sitting in a cold jail right now. Ask me how I know how cold it is. I sat in that jail for 2 weeks. He's sitting in a cold jail right now. America's dad, whom we all loved. But America's dad was a secret predator. He raped too. And he sexually assaulted. So those of you who are trying to lift one man up for the same actions, in a sense, and put another man down, who are you? You are a horrible judge. Horrible. God says that you will judge even the angels. Right now, God can't trust you. He can't trust you to judge nobody. He can't. You're horrible at it. If my people who are called, yep, Pauletta, Walt Clark says, and Harvey Weinstein is still walking around. Harvey Weinstein got a day in court coming, bruh. And he will probably face life in prison. Yeah. So don't get too excited or too mad. Weinstein's day in court is coming. So I get it. But like I said on yesterday's show, we can't have compare-itis. Pauletta said Woody Allen too. Good luck. Good luck with that one. And a whole bunch of people I mentioned yesterday in my show. Lady Ruthie, bye-bye. I love you, girl. Where you been? What about the pudding? Stop it, Bernia. See, that's why I love you. I said I love you in front of everybody. Now, put that on your wall. Say, Sirwalterj Jones said he loved me on the Facebook Live. Bernia, now, the fact that I said that, I know she's going to do it. I do love you, though, Williams. I do. All right, y'all. I think I've said enough. That is for those of you who don't pay attention to the news and you just want to know what's going on with this. Well, I don't know what was going on because I was watching Empire. Can you turn that off for at least an hour and pay attention to the highlights of the news? Go on YouTube and you'll see what happened. All right. Okay. Tomorrow, turn on the news and see what's going on, please, because if they go into a vote tomorrow, the weekend's usually really crazy for the Donald Trump administration. Saturdays are always kind of crazy. Every weekend or Saturday and Sunday, that's when he do his crazy stuff. He do his really crazy work on a Saturday and Sunday. So watch. Monday you're going to be like, what in the devil happened? Donald Trump. He happened. God, I thank you for your presence. I thank you for your blood. I thank you for your everlasting love. You are indeed the lover of my soul. And you are the center of my joy. There is none like you in the heavens or on the earth or below the earth. You are gracious, God. And we thank you for hearing what we heard. And those who love you understand. Those who have the gift of discerning of spirits, they understand, they know. You've given them the truth. You've given it to them. That woman, Dr. Ford, I pray for her mind. I pray for her family, her children. I pray that she feel that there was a relief and a release that happened today, that she continue to get the support that she need. Those who are trying to, there are death threats that came her way. She had to move out of, her family had to move out of the house. Remove those people from her. Remove those people. I almost said some things, God, I'm human, but remove them. Remove them. Remove them. Judge those people who are trying to do bodily harm to her and her family. Remove them and protect her. And allow her to rest tonight safe. Gracious. You're a gracious God. Speak to the mind of Cavanaugh and his family as well. Somebody's not telling the truth today, but you know the truth, and the persons involved, they know the truth. Expose the truth and allow America to heal. I ask this in your son Jesus' name. Thank God, amen. Thank God, amen. Thank God, amen. Thank God, amen. 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 Y'all know who do media and news shows on YouTube and Facebook and then break out on a piano solo. You ever heard anybody on the news do any of this kind of stuff? This is Tom Brokaw. Tell me. Who does that? Tell me again. God be with you. Tell me. Again. 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 Yeah. Oh, overjoyed. I am overjoyed. Again. Yeah. Do a little worship. Bernier, I gotta go. You know I ain't ate yet. So I got to go. I love y'all. Hit the share button if you will. And if you on YouTube, go ahead and hit the bing button and subscribe. Let's talk tomorrow. Y'all know if they vote him in and all that stuff, I'll be back. I always will. So what's the Jones Show?